Drivers never go out looking to crash, but I think it would be naive if we chose to believe that they aren't aware of their mortality. Many of them have lost friends or rivals.
Drivers learn to put this to one side so it doesn't distract them. You have to, otherwise you just couldn't function. I found the same thing against AYRTON Senna. Ayrton used to like to put you in a position where you had to make a decision if you were going to have an accident on that day in history. You'd move out of the way and then psychologically you were finished at that point.
You know the problem with Ayrton, he can't accept not to win and he can't accept that somebody resists by an overtaking maneuver.
And you had to actually in the end have an accident to make him aware that you weren't prepared to just keep moving over.
Wheel to wheel stuff, look at this, they're almost touching. Mansell gets in there.
When I was with Ayrton at McLaren 2 years, we had a completely different 2 seasons. 88, we were very, very close. It was like a nice fight and fun sometimes.
I think it's gonna get more and more exciting, the championship.
Is it possible to be equal in the championship?
No. Can only be one winner.
We were 2 different personalities. One has to show something different. Ayrton wanted to show that he was stronger than me, and that was really absolutely a nightmare for me. Maybe we fight outside the car. Ayrton knew what was going on in '99 anyway, because we have discussed that before the race with him and with Ron. And Ron can say that I will never open the door because I had a quicker car. I was just playing with him, and obviously I was surprised about the maneuver.
This is the opportunity that Senna's looking for, and he's going through. Ouch! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
I had no intention to open the car.
And 1990?
1990 he stayed flat. He stayed flat.
Senna is trying to go through on the inside. This is amazing. Senna goes off at the first corner, but what has happened to Prost? He has gone off too.
The mind is everything. All the boys in Formula One today have gifts from God, and there are 20 of them. Then there's the top 6, then the extraordinary 3. But the genius is the one who takes it to another level, and it's always the head that took them there.
You just can't explain to people how difficult it is. Hearts at 160, 170. You're getting a lot of information. It's stressful. I think what's surprising really is just how amazing the brain is. Frame rate and the speed, all the different signs, braking points, dark lines, light lines on the ground, bumps, to then to be able to brake late. All these different things that are happening in the subconscious mind, but then also present. For me, that's super surprising every time.
There's 700 million people there watching.
Every twitch of a muscle, every turn of a steering wheel, shift of a gear.
It's about blocking out distraction and focusing under pressure.
And they both go off!
Formula One car is a real hybrid animal.
Verstappen's hit Lewis Hamilton!
To be on the limit, trying to beat the others, that's what I love.
You have no idea what's going to happen during a race. It's you pushing your own limit and how you can go beyond.
I never got nervous, never got feeling of this is the big day.
I'm very excited. Something is going to happen, just not quite sure what.
If you try to think all those 1,000 things, what can happen, you cannot perform.
You know that you don't have almost everything in your hands.
The clock is always ticking. I can't go back and do it again.
These two have taken their talent to a new level.
I always like this kind of pressure.
The incredible crowd there, it just gives you goosebumps.
You have to set your mind to relax.
We've been waiting for this all season long.
Suddenly all the weight of the shoulders went away.
the title decider, under the lights here in Abu Dhabi.
Now I know what I need to do.
It's lights out and away we go.
Just before the lights go out, probably one of the calmest moments of the weekend. It goes very quickly, but it's almost like that slow-mo because everything quietens down. You've got several cars around you. You're not even looking at the braking zone. Everything's in your peripherals, but somehow I stopped and got around the corner. I don't know how we do that. We're definitely using a part of our brain that I'm not able to activate when I was in the classroom.
To be round the corner before the corner has been taken. That is the elite brain. And this is typified by a super-conscious state to perform in lightning quick speed. But at the same time, slow time down.
I think what makes a Formula One driver unique is a single-minded determination, a confidence, almost an arrogance, a belief that they're the best. If you don't have it, there's no point in even turning up.
I'm the best driver because I believe that I'm the best. Because every driver needs to think like that, otherwise it's better to stay at home.
It's your head that controls everything, it's your inner ear that balances you out, and it's all the calculation you're continuously doing while you're driving and racing.
I love driving, so I love being in the car and just go for it. For me, Sunday is the best day, so probably when I wake up on a Sunday morning, I'm in the zone.
When you're in the zone, you could imagine a computer where you have 100 programs running, and then you turn all of them off and you only keep 3 running. Suddenly it's more powerful, it's more focused. And that's the same thing that happens when you're in the zone in a sport or in anything. You lose track of everything else that happens and everything becomes in slow-mo.
The capacity to cut out irrelevant stimuli, to focus on those 3 computer programs. But I'm still aware of the others. That's a skill set of the best.
Having that trust and belief to make the car go faster is a complex process. There's all these different elements that come into sync. You know, I struggled like hell at school, and then I got in the car and it was like magic. It gave me confidence, it helped me come out of my shell. I'm not great at sitting in the room, but when I apply myself, that's my world in the car.
The mental side of the sport has always been key, but I don't think it's ever been as important as it is today in terms of mental health, understanding and almost embracing mental fragility and how it can be turned into a strength.
I was always against that kind of stuff. I think I'm old-fashioned, maybe coming from Canada and ice hockey where you're just tough and you're a gladiator. Any outside help like that was seen, or personally seen, as a deficit.
When you're a young driver, you really think you're the best of the world. So to take information sometimes can be very difficult because you're so talented. Give me the good car and I'll win the race. No, you have to develop the car to having an unbelievable machine. What a machine, right? McLaren was very hard with me. Not becoming a fast racing driver because I was already super quick.
Max has shown that he's evolved from his first few seasons. He's had fighting years for the last 2 or 3 years where he could win races and annoy Mercedes and Lewis, knowing he didn't have the car to win.
Verstappen on the inside into the lead. Hamilton gets squeezed out a bit.
Verstappen will be cheering inside that car. He leads the Grand Prix.
They got used to fighting at Red Bull and him, where I think Mercedes went a little bit to sleep.
The goal was, together with my dad, was first, of course, to get to Formula 1. That's already an achievement. Then, of course, you hope that you one day stand on the podium or maybe win a race. You know, these things were achieved.
Max Verstappen wins the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yes! Yes!
Max Verstappen, you are a race winner. What a debut.
Then the ultimate goal is, of course, to win a championship.
When Ferrari were always winning, it was wrong. When Mercedes-Benz was always winning with Fangio and Moss, it was wrong after a while. And the same's arrived now with Lewis and Mercedes-Benz. So it's time for a change, actually.
Abu Dhabi 2020 was a result that nobody expected because that's a Mercedes circuit. They've been so dominant there for such a long time. But Red Bull had been on this steady rise through the years.
For the 10th time in Formula One, Max Verstappen wins. He takes the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to beat the Mercedes pair, who will complete the final podium of the season.
To see them victorious there, Mercedes may have wrapped up the titles, but for Red Bull to go out of 2020 on a high like that was I think, a sign of things to come.
Having the new regulations, the new era of Formula One pushed back by a year, gives everybody a bit of breathing space. You usually see the closest battles because everybody's caught up. So having an additional year of that was only going to mean that it got even closer.
Welcome back to the Sakir circuit here in Bahrain for pre-season testing for the 2021 Formula One season.
In early 2021, obviously we saw Mercedes-Benz struggling in the pre-season test a lot.
Just listening in, comfortably flat through 12. This is important to get rear stability, and he doesn't have it.
In years gone by, the Red Bull had looked skittish and sketchy in testing. It was the Mercedes that was looking that way. It looked like the whole thing had just flipped 180.
Red Bull looking very good, and we got to the first race in Bahrain, and it was then clear that we were in for an epic season.
It was a short story of everything that was to come. Max and Red Bull looking extremely competitive, and they came wanting to fire out of the gates straight away.
I don't know what I'm coming to get you in Dutch is, but that is what Max Verstappen will be thinking. It is very much between these two magnificent racing drivers.
Here he comes. He's looking in his wing mirrors to see what's happening at the rear. It's Max Verstappen coming his way as they head towards turn 4. Hamilton's going to force Verstappen the long way round. By the time they get to the corner, he's about a third of a car in front. By the time they get out of the corner, he's a whole car in front. Max Verstappen is ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Hang on, what's going on? I was giving it back to him because he took the position off the racetrack.
He has been put under immense pressure by Max Verstappen and Red Bull here tonight. Sir Lewis Hamilton crosses the line and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix by the slenderest margin of just 0.7 of a second.
Hey guys, amazing job.
Wow, what a difficult race that was. They've had an amazing performance all weekend, so it was going to take something pretty special. And Max was all over me right at the end, but just about managed to hold him off.
Max, oh, I can see the disappointment on your face. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, it's of course a shame, but you also have to see the positive. You know, we're really putting the fight onto them, and I think that's great to start the year like that.
We also saw what would become parts of the narrative of this season in controversial stewarding decisions, controversial penalties being applied. And I think what we really saw as well was the unwavering battle where Max wasn't willing to give an inch and he was going to fight down to the very last moment. Essentially having the victory taken away from him by a stewarding decision.
Those last few laps have lit the spark for 2021.
Imola was important for a number of reasons. The race start, and once again, the two drivers who would fight for the World Championship running wheel to wheel and neither giving a quarter.
Max Verstappen now on the inside joins Hamilton in battle. Verstappen and Hamilton wheel to wheel. Hamilton is forced wide and he's lost a little bit of bodywork as well.
It was a big statement from Verstappen and Red Bull because you could see his confidence and you could see how good that car was out on track.
When you have two alpha males that will not back down, there's going to be fireworks. The difference between the good and the great is that the great are able to use that rivalry. They actually embrace it.
That was such an important move for Verstappen.
Once again, razor blades on his elbows.
When Lewis Hamilton came out of the pits from his second stop, the gap was over 22 seconds. The gap now is half a second. Hamilton goes around the outside at turn 1, and the charge is complete.
Those first victories for Hamilton ended up being quite dominant. But in Baku, you started to see this isn't a game. Max managed to eke out such a great advantage, and it was only because of the tyre failure that he lost that race.
Oh, we've got a crash there. It's Verstappen. Our race leader has crashed on the start-finish straight.
Christian Horner can't believe what has happened here. Tyre.
After the red flag, Lewis has already spoken to his team.
You've got to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to be measured how aggressive you go.
But that's not what we got at all.
Look at the brakes smoking on Lewis Hamilton's car as he sits on the grid waiting for the 5 lights. Perez on pole, Hamilton alongside him on the front row. Perez gets away well, Hamilton will wheel spin. Perez tries to cut off Hamilton, who looks up and goes straight on!
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Don't sweat it, Lewis.
This has not been a good day for the top 2 in the championship.
I think it was an uncharacteristic mistake from Lewis, but in a championship that looked like it was going to be this close, it was a pretty big one.
All of a sudden, you thought, this isn't going to be a walk in the park.
When a driver is confronted with the reality that critical injury is a possibility, then it's about blocking out distraction and focusing under pressure, not the risks involved.
I think Max has always been an aggressive driver, and I think Lewis is probably not as aggressive and struggled with Max. In the early days, kept turning away. Every time Max arrived sliding up the inside of him, he instinctively turned out of the accident because he wanted to finish the race, and has realised he needed to change his approach a little bit to be partly the aggressor as well.
Every time these guys get next to each other, it's about imposing themselves in the subconscious of their rival, letting them know that they're not going to be pushed out of the way. From race 1, every race that followed, every time they got close to each other, it was all about getting inside each other's heads.
Max Verstappen is ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Yes! He sees the checkered flag and he wins the French Grand Prix.
The momentum had definitely swung in Red Bull's favour.
Max Verstappen, he wins the Styrian Grand Prix and absolutely crushed the opposition.
And the car was on fire today.
I don't think Mercedes had gone this long without a win since they started winning World Championships. If Red Bull could win at Silverstone, it was going to hurt Mercedes, and more than just in terms of points and the World Championship. It was one where they really needed to swing back.
This is Silverstone. We're at Lewis's backyard. The fans are behind him. This is his race. He's not going to want Max Verstappen to take that win away from him. And what we saw was actually pretty spectacular. Lewis knew how the first couple of corners were going to play out if Max got ahead, but Max is a supremely difficult driver to overtake.
On the grid at Silverstone, and it's lights out and away we go. Max Verstappen gets a decent start. Hamilton is right with him. Leclerc is already ahead of Bottas. Verstappen's ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Verstappen's going to have to weave like crazy. Hamilton got a better drive off the loop. He will be faster down the Wellington straight into Brooklands.
Not going to get a chance to weave because already Hamilton is with him. They almost touch. They go into Brooklands. Verstappen stays ahead. The crowd roar their approval for this. The 2 championship contenders giving it everything.
It's not over yet because Hamilton gets another slipstream all the way down the old pit straight into Cobb's Corner. These are critical corners for this Grand Prix.
Verstappen is out of the race and that's a big crash into Cobbs.
It's the first time where I think Lewis decided, I'm not being bullied anymore. I'm the 7-time world champion and I'm a champion for a reason. And he didn't relent.
Max was all or nothing, and Lewis knew that. I think Lewis knew exactly where he was positioning his car.
It always takes 2 to tango, and at the end, you know, they were racing each other hard.
For me, it's very clear. Lewis has stuck a wheel up the inside at one of the fastest corners on this World Championship. He's driven this circuit for years. You know you don't do that here.
Yes, there was no intent in crashing. None of the 2 drivers were wanting the crashes to happen. They were just racing hard and miscalculated it. which has always happened in F1. We're just not used to it now anymore because with all the penalties, drivers avoid being a little bit aggressive. There was just frustration, ego, you know, who's the bigger dog, and mistakes happen. And that's good. That's what you want to see in racing.
Ultimately, Lewis Hamilton is deemed to be responsible for the crash. He was handed a 10-second penalty and falls back through the order. Then goes on to put in a tremendous drive to win.
And he tries to get past Leclerc and goes off the track. Has Hamilton gone through? Yes, he has. He wins the British Grand Prix.
I didn't think there was anything untoward really about the celebrations. He just won a Grand Prix in front of a capacity Silverstone crowd. I think a lot was made of it because Max had ended up in hospital. If there'd been any doubt over whether Max was all right, his celebrations would have been muted.
If you were ever to have to describe the 2021 season to somebody who didn't watch it, you're definitely going to talk about Hungary.
If you two end up wheel to wheel after the start tomorrow.
No, can we just already stop about this? Because we had so many questions about this. It's just ridiculous, honestly. Honestly, the whole Thursday, we've been answering this stupid all the time. So can we just stop about it, please?
Okay.
We are racers, we will race. And of course, we're going to race hard, but fair. So okay. We just keep pushing each other.
Lewis, anything from you?
I think it's an intense championship and rivalry, and you don't need to go for a drink with your rival or chat anything out.
It was such a bizarre race that again showed the difference in the teammates. Bottas takes out both Red Bulls and puts them on the back foot. It was just the most bizarre first corner incident.
Valtteri Bottas, who loses it under braking.
Absolutely, he just brakes way too late. Bottas took out both Red Bull cars.
That is a dream start for Hamilton. It's a nightmare for Max Verstappen.
Lewis finds himself restarting the race on his own, on the grid.
At this rate, everyone is going to box.
What a crazy situation, and what a race in the pit lane at the moment.
I'll never forget that shot for as long as I live. This lonely Mercedes, a sitting duck, basically, and he knows he is.
It's going to be lights out and away we go for Lewis Hamilton only.
Yeah, let's try. Copy loose, so box.
Hamilton comes out into this race right in the back. Esteban Ocon takes the lead.
It's going to be hammer time all the way.
Hamilton's going to get past Max Verstappen. An absolute horror for Red Bull. Hamilton might try and get past Alonso here. Was that Hamilton's opportunity? This time he's alongside, and I think they might have touched there as well. Hamilton had to back out of it. Alonso somehow is keeping Hamilton at bay. This is Hamilton's chance. It has been coming for a few laps now. You can hear the cheers from the crowd. Hamilton is up into fourth place. Hamilton has got the pace advantage. Sainz forces him deep to try and put some more pressure on him, but it doesn't quite happen. And through goes Lewis Hamilton into the podium places.
It's Alonso who cost Lewis the win today.
Ocon wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton from 14th comes back to finish on the podium. The title lead goes to Mercedes. There's a lot more to play for in 2021.
It's been a tough day. I didn't understand it all, and I did the start, and again, of course, I was on my own. I had no idea where everyone else was, but obviously when I came in the pit and saw everyone going by, I was like, I can't believe it, you know.
Again, taken out by a Mercedes, so what you want. The last two races haven't gone our way, and we just need to keep being focused, just look ahead, and try to improve.
This is the best season I've commentated on, there's no doubt about it. Two great teams, two great drivers.
Yes! Absolute textbook.
They're delivering something quite spectacular.
He has gone from last all the way to first.
Imagine if it goes to the last race of the season. Boy, we didn't know what was coming.